Hey guys, welcome to another Thursday edition of Camping with Steve. I built a pretty cool origami structure I'm going to pop out, but of course I forgot my shovel, so I'm going to pack down the snow with these snowshoes, then put the ground tarp down. That should work just fine because there's actually ice underneath of the snow, so clearing it wouldn't make a huge pile of difference. But I'll pack down a little flat spot for us, and we'll get right into camping. That should do it. So here's the deal with this guy. Made out of coroplast. Just cut a little door in there. It all comes apart. The back it was going to be taped together, but this tape does not perform in the cold. So I've just tied it on right there. And that holds the whole thing together. In stormier conditions, I would definitely stake it down, but that's the structure. It's triangular. There's not a ton of space in it, but definitely more than normal tent. I'm going to put in a nylon tarp for the floor. I was going to do that before, but the walls digging into the snow give it a lot of rigidity, so I like that. Looks good. All right, the shelter's set up, so time for step 2, of course. And we'll come in here in a sec, give a quick look around, but I can live a happy life here. This is awesome. So yeah, it's not the biggest in here, but definitely good for one guy. This is the best plan we could come up with that would fold up origami. If we added a third or a fourth wall, it would double the space in here and it would be quite comfortable. But it's just Gorilla Tape and this corrugated plastic stuff. I found a deal on Kijiji, which is like Craigslist in Canada, and I got 5 sheets for $10 a sheet. So 50 bucks and 10 bucks of Gorilla Tape. And I threw it all together. I know I'm going to get questions about the exact plans, but we just kind of Googled and did origami and made it as we went. And we weren't sure if it was going to work. So these are 8-foot sheets cut in half in the middle, and the roof parts are just 45-degree angles at 4 feet each, hinged in the middle and on the corners, and it just pops right up. So this is super cool. It would make a good greenhouse or something like that even. Like, there's a lot of good possibilities for this quick type of setup thing. So I'll probably get a fire started. Then we'll put some lights up in here and get this all kind of set up for the night. But time to get a little survival fire going because it is going to be fairly cold tonight. Right now it's not too bad. It's about 2 Celsius, so we're looking at 28 degrees Fahrenheit right now, but it is going to drop down substantially at night, and I'll figure out what that's going to be, but it'll be much colder, so we'll get a small fire going. I know there's a firing under here, because this is one of my usual spots that I come to. That's where I did the polar vortex camping that one year. And I've done a few other ones. This is where there was that meth lab parked out here, somebody's motorhome. But anyway, yeah, I brought wood, but it's kind of a gray area. This is public land up to the high water mark. After that, that's somebody's farm over there, so I really shouldn't wander into their land too much. People can be unpredictable. So, yeah, they're pretty well picked clean for wood anyways, so not that I couldn't go scrounging for wood, but I don't want any problems. Okay. Full pieces of wood there. Nice little trick you can use. It's a whole bunch of gelled hand sanitizer. This stuff burns real good. That should start it very nicely. Oh yeah. I'll bring the chair over and we can sit by the fire for a little. A fire definitely provides warmth and helps keep you alive, but I find there's really no substitute for a ton of clothing on. So fire's nice, but clothing is my priority. If I had to choose between one or the other for a little camping trip like this, I would go with just a bunch of powerful clothes. See all these ducks out there, and they must have some really powerful insulation because they're swimming in that water, and it's got to be below freezing but not frozen because it's still moving. So that's really remarkable. So the sun actually sets around 4 p.m. here, so this is what we have to deal with, cooking dinner in the dark. Please let me know what time the sun sets where you guys live, because that would be interesting to me. But yeah, it was shortly after 4, maybe 4:20 or so, the sun goes down here in Edmonton. And we're gonna get some dinner going because it was freezer clean out day, so I grabbed some stuff from the freezer that should hopefully form into a meal, and walk around there and see what I had to go through in the snow. On the drive down here, I was concerned because the snow was coming hard and I knew it was going to be deep, at least 6 inches. And the whole way here, I plowed through the virgin snow to get to the campsite. And things are going good so far, but as long as it doesn't snow, we'll be able to get out of here in the morning. Some of you may know I like to use these butane grills. And provided it's not too cold, it should start okay. There we go. So the butane actually has to be above 0 Celsius or 32 Fahrenheit in order to vaporize. but we're gonna be doing this right here, close to the fire, because it's so convenient. Got a cook set here, and we're going to be doing just a quick, simple dinner tonight. And that means olive oil. Can't go wrong with that, but it will freeze on you in these temperatures. This will go completely solid and you will be in bad shape in the morning. At a grocery store, you can get a combination of mushrooms, peppers, onions, etc. for a reasonable fee, if you can figure out how to open the plastic container on it. I'm not being dramatic, this is actually kind of difficult. Oh, I see. That's how it goes. Yeah. Nice. It was clean out the fridge day, clean out the freezer day, and that meant some Johnsonville Italian sausages. Those are going into this feast here. And we'll chop them all up into there, save a couple for breakfast. Some pasta sauce. Classico. And some water. We're going to dump in some of these 3 cheese tortellinis. That should be quite okay out here. I have no issues about that. We'll bring this to a boil, and then we'll chow down and hunker down. Tortellini and sausage pasta. Absolutely amazing. I know you want to see it, but yeah, it was a great thing that I decided to clean out the freezer, because this is a great simple camping meal that I plan to do again. time for bed. So I'm about to curl up in here. I've got a little lantern going here, which I'll turn off right away because there's no ventilation if I leave this on. But I do have to give a huge shout out to all the very generous beer donation funds, which have actually gone into some chloroplast to build this shelter. All you guys are amazing. I can't say enough about that, but I'll leave it be because I don't want to seem like I'm panhandling or anything. So you guys are great. I'm gonna curl up for bed and we'll see you guys in the morning. This is so cool, like being in this little shack. I don't know, I love it. So time to hit the hay. Good morning. I'm up early and in the car. I was having trouble understanding why I was so cold, but I did just bring the one sleeping bag, and I got in and looked at the temperature in the car, minus 18 Celsius, so it is a cold one for just one sleeping bag. But I did majority of the night there, but I am warming up in my car, and I'm going to go make breakfast. So with the sun up, it certainly warms up real quick. It's still registering at about minus 8 to minus 9 Celsius, but it is a lot warmer than it was at the crack of dawn. I do have to give a shout out to Dylan C, who sent me this water bottle, this hot water bottle thing. For the last time I was cooking, I did a one of these military rations, and I just dumped the water out after I heated the meal. So this will allow me to save any of that if I'm using something like that. I could have used it last night, but I found I was really warm when I was falling asleep, and I was really warm until, you know, just about before it was time to get up for the day. So it's wouldn't have helped too much, but in the future it's definitely going to come in handy. So thanks, Dylan. And I'm going to throw some Canadian military ration espresso roast coffee in here, and that'll give me the kick I need to get everything packed up. And I'm going to make a small plate of hash browns too. Got those little dehydrated ones, and they work just fine and dandy. Can you see I've invested in a little bit of a cook set, not the other junky stuff I was using. This is still inexpensive stuff, but it's a lot better than what I had. That smells so good. I am not a fan generally of instant coffee, but time and a place for everything. And this looks good to me. Oh, that is strong. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So, I'm gonna make some hash browns. I was tempted to crack an egg into it, except the eggs, I'm sure, are frozen solid. Not hearing much movement in there. But the other thing people did mention was I was using canola oil last time, which is, I know it's not a really good oil. Actually, it's an acronym. It stands for Canadian Oil Low Acid, which is doesn't make it sound actually appetizing. The actual name of it is rapeseed oil, which is actually far worse for marketing than Canadian Oil Low Acid. But I did have to bring that again today because I'll show you in 1 second. This is my olive oil. This is my frozen olive oil. It freezes up at like not even freezing, so it's pretty much useless. And the canola oil is still useful, so that's what I'll have to do there. These are my lovely dehydrated hash browns, just rehydrating them, and that will make enough to feed an army. So, big shout out to Crazy Neighbor who helped me build this structure here, and I'm sure that's why most of you are watching. Let's actually take another look at it, walk around, and I'll briefly explain how we built it while these things rehydrate. Well, I built this happy little guy out of coroplast, corrugated plastic, which is just like plastic cardboard. I used 4.5 sheets, I believe. Yeah. So what I did was, this is one sheet, 8 feet by 4 feet, and we cut that in half, and then we put a hinge out of Gorilla Tape in the middle of it. And we did that to all 3 panels, and we attached them, leaving one end not attached. Then we basically just took these other sections here, put a 45-degree angle coming off at 4 feet here, and I have one of the origami paper things as well that we were using when we came up with this design. So a real simple way to kind of see what this is all about. This is what it looks like all laid out. I don't know if you can see. This is the top. Then it pops up and goes together like so. But when it folds down, it goes like that. And again, 4 feet, 8 feet, 4 feet, 45-degree angles all up there. And the other 3 edges are like that. And then it folds down like so and goes into the car. So glad I brought this. Hope that it helps to explain something about it. But yeah, I don't have any measurements. There's no step-by-step guide. I may have to revisit that depending on how many comments I get asking if there's instructions for this thing. But when in doubt, you just improvise and start out with a piece of paper and see what you can build. See if it folds up nicely, and that's my advice on this. But those hash browns should be rehydrated by now. Yes, this is one of those boxes that I've used before, and it makes an insane amount of hash browns. So, get these on. There's going to be enough left to bring back to Beautiful Wife, because it is a huge box of hash browns. Hash browns are done, and they have baked up, fried up just perfectly, nice and crispy, just the way I like them. I guess I'll touch on a few things. I do get quite a few questions about Bigfoot. What do I think about Bigfoot? Have I seen Bigfoot? Am I Bigfoot? I haven't seen a Bigfoot or any traces of one, or a Yeti or anything else like that. But I'm no cryptozoologist, so I'm not the expert on this topic. But my general theory is I've gone to some extremely remote parts of the country, up logging roads, in places where there have actually been Sasquatch sightings reported to the police and all that. But I can't picture anywhere that you can get to by road not seeing some traffic or a human within 2 weeks. Like, between hunting season, recreation season, people are out in what you think is absolutely remote wilderness. You're going to see somebody there eventually, regardless of how far you go. So I'm just surprised that they wouldn't have been seen yet, and no evidence of them. So it would be really cool, to be honest. That would be awesome, and I'm not ruling it out. But again, I am not an expert on the matter, but people have asked me to weigh in on my opinion about the Bigfoot situation. just like that. Well, thanks guys for watching. Time to get back to reality for the week. Until next week when I can go camping again. So until then, we'll just think of all the good memories out here to keep us going through the next week. And if you like this type of thing and you've watched this far, please subscribe. That helps me out. And if you don't like it and you've watched this far, I don't know what to tell you. I gave you a chance to bail when I started the fire. I don't know what to tell you if you didn't like it and you're watching this for some reason, but thanks for the view anyhow. So, gonna get back into town and have a good week, everybody. Cheers.